What's happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Better on This Side.
Yes, welcome, guys.
As you guys can see, we've put a bit of effort in our setup. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, I'm proud of us too. Feeling really good.
Yes.
Feeling really good. Today, we actually just wanted to chat about masculine energy versus feminine energy. What it means and just how it's helped us in our day-to-day life, in our work, in our relationship, everything.
So Bianca has studied this, so she's going to give us the Google definition of it.
Yeah. So the Google definition is masculine energy is characterized by doing and achieving, and it's molded by logic and reason. Feminine energy is more intuitive, oriented towards receiving and allowing, and it's characterized by being. When these energies are balanced, we experience a greater sense of harmony and fulfillment. And so it's also important to note that masculine and feminine energy runs within all of us, whether we he, she, they, them. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us, you know? And so, why this is so important to us, I feel, is because we've experienced a lot of burnout, like many burnout cycles over the last probably like even more than a decade, I think, you know. And just that like toxic hustle culture of always being on go mode, like not actually realizing how important and productive rest is as well. How's your experience been?
It's been cool. You know, I think just to touch on that hustle culture situation. What I love about what we spoke about Friday night, guys, we had a very, very deep conversation, big introspective evening on Friday. And we spoke about, just finding that a stronger balance between those two, like really, really, really tapping into hustle, because I think when we had our spiritual awakenings and just when we also became so much more in touch with ourselves and who we are and also just the balance of masculine and feminine, I think we kind of really threw the pendulum over to the other side more often than we thought, you know. So we'd either be hustling insanely and then we like panic and we're like, okay, we're going too hard, and then we go all the way down here, then we'll like take off for like a few days, and then you obviously, because we know how we are, we're like, okay, we're not pushing too hard enough, or etc. So I think now, because we've gone through all of that, the beautiful thing now is finding that balance between the two, because there are days where when we work hard, we do feel like it's going well. But for example, my audition the other day, the self-tape that was like 2 hours long, and Bianca literally said she had a migraine. She felt like like
guys,
throwing up, like it was just bad, you know.
I pushed my body way too hard for that one. Like it was too much, and my body actually just shut down.
But it's like it's that thing of like, and mind you, we took a take that we probably took an hour in. I decided to choose it. You know what I mean? And it's like, but that's because that hustle thing, and it's like it's good to have that spirit, but then it's also good to know, okay, cool, I think we got it. Like let's just step away. Let's just rest. So let's rest and go do tomorrow again, you know? So it's like, it's those two extremes. And I think finding that middle ground to know when to like step away, even when you're not certain, but just because you're listening to your body, just because you're reading the cues, you kind of step away off of that. That's enough information to be like, okay, I'm stepping away. But yeah, for me personally, I think that is, how I'm trying to do it, because again, like you said, you know, when we work hard, it's like we in there, but when we take time, especially for us, like me, as I feel it, especially with me also, is that the more I feel, sorry guys, Michael, come sit down, sit. Thank you so much, sir.
Mikey's in the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, he always is somewhere in the middle.
Just relax. Thank you, sir. You know, with me, I personally feel like I do have those extremes, and I hate resting sometimes because I feel like I'm falling behind, like we said. Or, you know, you feel like if you're pushing too hard, sometimes you just get like, you really start feeling sick, or you get a headache, or you just start feeling like a burnout is on the way. And then I panic and I'm like, oh, I need to take a day off or two. And while I'm resting, I'm like, I need to be doing this song because, so it's like finding that balance between those two. But again, these are the only practical examples I can give right now for, I guess, for everyone to understand, because I'm sure a lot of people go to do that,
Yeah, no, it's true. And
for
I
yourself?
think, well, I think the whole like toxic hustle culture, I don't know. I think it's served me to a point because it helped me to achieve certain things, like especially just because we live in a patriarchal society. So yeah, like our bodies and resting and just looking after ourselves is not put at the forefront. What's put at the forefront is excelling, like exceeding your expectations, reaching your goals, like all of that. And yeah, in some weird way, I'm like, I am grateful that I was very much like go, 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 and like really in my masculine energy. But when we, like, because we got COVID a couple of years ago, and that's really what slowed us down completely, because we had absolutely no choice. Like, we had to surrender. We couldn't go to the bathroom. We couldn't even like cook for ourselves. It was so intense, and we couldn't do any work. And most of what we do is like front facing on camera, or it's, editing or recording, or it's just very like action based.
Yeah,
and
you
also
need to be on to.
Yeah, you need to be on, you need to be creative, your mind needs to be clear, and we were actually incapable of working. And so for the first time, I think in like over 2 decades at least, because you've been working in this industry for more than 2 decades, I've been working in this industry for like just over a decade. So that was the first time where we were really stopped in our tracks and we had to sit. And that's also where we found slow living and just like, I guess, feminine energy. That's where we found it, But I think that's being so much in my masculine, it did help me to a certain point. Like, it helped me to achieve my goals and like just things that I'd always wanted to do, as a young girl. But I realized that things were very, very like imbalanced, and I had to make a change, So I'm grateful for that aspect. And now that I've been through that, I know how to find that balance,
I think it's also like something to work through in our later ages, like where we are now, where it's like, I agree with you 100%. As a young person, I always call it the ignorant, like, no, the naive, like the ignorance, blissful ignorance. I call it blissful ignorance. It's like, you know what I mean? You haven't been disappointed enough in the world. You haven't failed enough. You haven't and you just like, you happy go lucky. You're so excited to be here and be doing what you're doing. And I think that also fuels, your dreams and who you are and what you want to achieve. You're not
100%.
thinking about resting. You're thinking about this dream. Like, and you know how it is when you're inspired or excited about something. It's like, it's so hard to feel tired when your outfit is laying at the bottom of your bed because you're ready for service tomorrow, or fun day, or whatever, you're going on a trip, or you're going to the zoo, or you're going to like a party, a birthday party. It's like your outfit is ready since Monday. So that's the excitement of like being young. And then when you get older, I think real life also kicks in. Like, real life kicks in a lot of ways, not to get specific, but it does. And you start, you're going to have to start you start realizing, oh, I really don't like that, or you've experienced disappointment in this, or you have failed in this, or now you're like scared to take chances. And those things also, again, consume energy, and those things also make you either doubt yourself or not want to go after it. So I think those are like the nice things about being young, I guess. So yes, I digress there, but like, I think those things do aid us having so much energy at a young age. It's like, so you don't feel that burnout. You may be tired. I know I felt tired. You felt tired after netball games. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, you are tired, you're exhausted, and all you go do is you just go sleep. As a child, when you're tired,
I was just gonna say, that's such a good point, because there's like different seasons, and that's also another part of like feminine and masculine, which we'll touch on. But like, there is that season of being young and like not having as many responsibilities. All you have to do is worry about, like you said, what outfit you're going to wear for civvies, or that game that you have on Saturday. You know, you don't have to worry about looking after yourself in terms of what you're going to eat, where you're going to live, what you're going to wear. So it's like,
how are you going to get there?
How are you going to get there? You know, your transport, all of these things which we need to operate in our day-to-day life. So there's another layer of like pressure that's added, you know, and I think I'm grateful that like masculine energy, I was in it, you know, for quite a while, like for many years, because it's helped so much to lay a foundation. Whereas now, some of our days, like, it's so much fun because some of our days can look like we're going to the park at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. on a random Wednesday to go and ground in nature and like forest bathe and just like relax, you know. But and it's not to say, it's all about perspective. It's not to say that, you know, we feel like we've arrived or we don't have to work anymore or whatever. Like, we still do. We still have goals and aspirations. And I just think now it's a little bit more healthy. And because we want to be around for a long time, we want to be working for a long time within this industry, you know, being entertainment and wellness. And, you know, we love it so much. And so what we found is like, we really need to find that balance, because if we're so much on go, go, go mode, it really, first of all, you actually miss the journey and like the milestones and the things that you're achieving, you know, because that's another thing I must say. Like, it was amazing to have that drive and determination when I was really young and achieve all those things. But one thing that was consistent whenever I reached a milestone is that I felt so lonely and empty. And it almost felt like, you know, I'll be in this beautiful country, like on this island or something, and I'll be like, there's actually no one to share this with. Like, this is so sad. Like, I'm here. I wish my family was here, or I wish my boyfriend was here, or, you know, it's like, so now it's looking a little bit different. And so just going back to that age thing, you know, finding that balance is important because we still need to survive and like, and thrive, you know? And so what does that look like? You know? And so for me, it really doesn't look like working myself to the bone anymore. And also because, like you said, when we had our spiritual awakenings, we become more connected to our bodies. And now for me, I literally live by my cycle, and my cycle forces me into feminine energy or masculine energy, because it's like, it's broken up into different phases, you know. And yeah, I don't know, do you want to tell them about like how the PMDD went for me this month?
I think that's what I wanted to say. It's like another beautiful example about nature is your past 2 weeks episode of PMDD, and
pre-menstrual dysphoric disorder.
Yeah, it was a serious one. Listen, it was legit. This one was the be all end all. It was like the gong, you know, that boss at the end of the TV game. It was serious, you know. And thankfully, how the universe will always prepare you for stuff. You sent me the definition and like an article to read up on it. And for some reason, this time around, I was like ready for it, and so it didn't hit me as hard. But like, there were days where it was like a roller coaster, and it's one thing knowing what PMDD is, and another thing experiencing the true like bottom of it, like, because
it's ugly, guys. It's not pretty. Like, us sitting here being able to like record this podcast, for example, you guys, it's one of those things where like, I wish there was a camera, you know, that we could share the footage of how the last 2 weeks were. And so just to also give like background on what PMDD is, it's basically PMS, but like very, very heightened, like times 100, times 1,000, and it affects your mind mostly. So you can think of it as like having a mood disorder, except it happens specifically in the 2 weeks leading up to your period. And so it's very spot on. Like, the day I hit my luteal phase, I know how it feels. I'm like, oh, it's here. Like, I know, I feel this like density in my body, and I'm just like, I feel heavy, and I'm like, the gremlin
Yeah.
The gremlin. Like, that's literally how I feel. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay, cool. So yeah, essentially what happens is there's so many hormone imbalances that are going on. And it's not in every woman, it's only in some women, a very small percentage. That's why not many people know about it. And like, whenever I'm like PMDD, everyone's like, what is that? It's like, I also didn't know what it was until I started tracking my cycle and actually understanding. And it was towards the end of last year, or like the beginning of this year, where I was like, I think I may have PMDD, because I'd been tracking my cycle for about a year. And I noticed that these symptoms that I had heard about and read about were happening to me. So it's basically like you get very, very tired. It's almost like you are full on like depressed. You have anxiety, lots of mood swings. Like, even like I couldn't even smile. Like, that's how bad it is. It's like your mood is so low, and you have really, really terrible thoughts of hopelessness. Everything is just so heightened. You're paranoia. You're worried about things that you wouldn't really be worried about. So that's how you know the difference. And yeah, I just think it's really important, because people need to know about this, so that you can know how to, first of all, balance your energies and know like when to step into your feminine. So for me, as a woman, during that phase, which is your luteal phase, which every woman goes through, that is more your feminine energy, like, period. And that's when you need to rest, slow down.
And I guess life, like nature also presses you into that, where it's like, whether you like it or not, it's
you have no choice. You have no choice.
I think for the guys, I'm gonna help the guys out. I'm joking. I'm not an expert at this, but I think from experience and just like regulating and also understanding my body and understanding myself and still learning, I guess we regulate every 24 hours, right? Like you said, our cycle works with the sun.
Yes.
And the female cycle is every 28 days, which works with the moon.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
nice.
And so with guys, because since back in the day, like I'm talking about like hunter-gatherer days, like guys used to hunt, used to go out and find food and try bring the bacon home, right? And so we have to kind of show up and go hustle and try and make things happen. That's just not even what society, it's just what nature has ordained for us as men, right? And so our masculine is our superpower for sure. But I think now, because ours is like every 24 hours and we get this like spirit of like energy and like strength to go do it every 24 hours, it's also then trickier to know when to step back and rest and not go too hard. But I think when you connect more with your body and with yourself, it does, and you do get a lot of like inklings, and you get a lot of clues that's like, okay, cool, you need to rest, or you need to take it easy, or you need to not push too hard, because sometimes we push so hard and there's so much resistance. And that's also another sign when there's resistance, because we work with the nature, like it's the cycle of nature. Like that's just how nature works. We spoke about seasons earlier, like we can touch on it again, but like that's how seasons work. It's like you get the sowing and then you get the reaping. And so what I'm also learning now is like taking that time out, like as a guy, knowing that my nature wants to hustle. I need to consciously make the decision to give the universe space to kind of take over and bring the reaping season, like you made a beautiful analogy about winter and summer.
Like you could also look at these seasons as like, there's outer seasons, which is summer, autumn, winter, spring, and like right now we are in winter. So there's a collective feminine energy going on. Like winter and autumn is about turning inwards and like listening, slowing down, being indoors, like being by the fireplace, like that kind of thing. And summer and spring obviously is like everyone's out and about, you at the beach, you drinking cocktails or whatever, you meeting up with friends, and
there's just that energy about like summer.
Exactly. And it goes the same now for our bodies as well, and so like as you said, for men it's every 24 hours that you guys regulate. So I think it's also important to make sure that like you're taking your rest, like your sleep time, seriously, because like when it's the end of the day, the work day, it's like, let that be the end of the day, because for you, it's like you need that sleep and that time to rejuvenate so that you can start again. And for women, it's a little bit different, where like during follicular and ovulation, which is more masculine energy time because of our hormones and we have more energy levels, I can have less sleep. You know, I can survive on like 6 hours of sleep, maybe even 5.
Maybe
because
12.
No, 12 is later.
No, I'm joking. I'm just saying Bianca can sleep for 20 hours and be like, I'm so tired. I'm like,
yes, that's a good point. But that usually happens in my luteal phase and my menstrual phase, where like it doesn't actually matter how much I sleep. But that's also because my body is telling me that I need more rest at that time. So it's more feminine energy stuff, you know. So my sleep patterns differ depending on which phase of my cycle I'm in. So that's how I'm able to like regulate, you know. And also just in terms of like work as well, like I do more of my work in my masculine energy time, which is the beginning part of my cycle, because I actually have the energy to do so. Because the time my luteal phase comes around, like I'm exhausted and I need to do more things that are like just editing on the phone or like, you know, researching on the laptop, like not doing stuff like this. Like you can tell my energy levels are up and we've scheduled it that way. And that's what works for me, you know? And yeah, I think most women as well, when you start tracking your cycle, like that's also how you take your power back and learn what works for you and when is a good time to like go socialize with friends, or maybe you want to just be indoors, you know, just things like that. And it's really helped me so much with finding balance in my body, and like also how I show up for myself, for you, for Mikey, for like my friends, my family, because I know what's going on with me. So I can kind of just gauge, you know.
I think for gents especially also, let me speak for the shame. I you know, I have to go to rock for the boys. I have to tell them,
I
you
mean,
know.
of course.
I think what helps me for sure and like find that balance, as you explained yours now, mine is definitely like, obviously work hard, you know, do what you do. Because like we said, I was just every 24 hours, but I think just start like finding practices or tools that will help you regulate and help you actually tap in and out of it, you know, find that balance. So for me, it's definitely meditation, connecting with my body, spirit. You know, I do have days where I just stretch, and that's just to connect with my body and feel every single like joint and muscle. And, you know, it's like I really literally do that. I do have days which I used to hate, of course, and Bianca used to be like, dude, you have to chill, you have to rest, like just take this day, don't feel bad. Now I'll take a whole day, sometimes 2, just to binge, just watch whatever I want to watch, and I stay in bed. Now, mind you, Oscar, I'll be like to you, I feel bad, man. Like, shouldn't I be? I do have those low moments, but I have to pull myself back and be like, nah, I have to rest, because I know how I feel afterwards. Whether I take a break from singing, whether I take a 2 days later when I sing, I feel good, like my voice, and I'm like, ooh, my voice is sounding good. And it's like, it's not that I couldn't sing the other day, I was just tired, I was exhausted, my brain and my body connection was off because I was exhausted, you know. And so just like, like take days off, like whether it's like, even if it's half a day, even if it's like 2 hours, just to do nothing and just rest, you know.
Even if it's, can I add something quickly? Even if it's like something that also works for me is like, even throughout the day, like even just like 10 minutes, you know, just to breathe, or like just drink a glass of water and like regulate yourself and be like, okay, I'm here. Like that's also another way that you can do it, because it's also understandable, you know, that most people have a 9 to 5, or they're reporting 100%. To someone, or, you know, they don't have control over their schedule. So those are some ways you can also kind of just bring that feminine energy back into your day. You know, those are some practical things to do, even like on your lunch break. Instead of scrolling through your phone, you can take a book and go sit in the sun and eat a nourishing meal and recharge your mind, your body, your soul, and then get back to, you know, work.
I think another thing is definitely also, speaking of like people that work, whether it's 9 to 5 or people that just,
their schedule is hectic.
You know,
because you could also be like a parent full time, or, you know.
I think I've learned to, even though I work for myself and I can take every day off, I've learned to take weekends off. Like I respect my
Boundaries,
Saturday and
creating
Sunday.
boundaries.
Yes, you
Yeah,
know, like you
yeah.
have to. I don't care how much you like drinking or partying or any of that, but I can tell you right now, from someone that has lived both lives, like the crazy life and also like this side now, you drinking or you partying or you going out, that is not resting. You actually making your body more tired. You're giving your body more work to recover from. You know,
true.
whether it's alcohol or eating bad or whatever, it's like your body is working overtime to recover from that. So when Monday comes, you're like, oh, the weekend was so short. No, you just didn't rest. But imagine taking that week that you worked so hard and then taking those 2 days to completely deep rest, recover, enjoy your time with your family, watch some stuff, eat good food. Yes, have a bit of alcohol or a bit of wine or whatever you indulge in, but feel that rest, like really rest, you know? And there's so many things that you can see online that will show you like how to rest or what to do.
There's actually there's different types of rest. I've forgotten all the different ones, but I think there's 7 different types of rest. But there's like, this is another thing for me who gets very overstimulated. There's sensory rest, and that's like the biggest one for me. And so sensory rest is everything to do with your senses. So there'll literally be times where like, I don't want to hear any music. I don't want to watch anything. I just want to chill literally in silence. Like so many times I'll drive home from wherever and I'm driving in pure silence because I'm just like, I need, like, my senses need a break. So there's a lot of different types of rest. Like, I'm sure you can Google it and it will pop up. But just also, like, when you learn that, you know how to adjust it for you. Yeah. Like, for me, sensory rest is a big one. That's why sometimes we'll be, like, watching something. You're like, do you want to watch? And I'm literally like, no. Not because I don't have the desire or excitement to, but because I'm overstimulated. Like, I've just been, too much stuff has been, like, I've been taking in too much, you know? Or, like, too many sounds. And
especially like the world we live in right now, it's like as soon as you open your phone, you just get bombarded with information and video and audio and like sound and
it's
news
so much
and like, you know what I mean? So I think it's also like I guess that's also another one. It's like I guess that falls under sensory rest, but I think even like social media breaks, like we have learned to do that. Like I sleep with my phone downstairs. Like my phone is downstairs. I sleep now and I leave my phone downstairs. And even just that space of like leaving the phone here from 8 o'clock till like 7 the next morning or whatever time I wake up, that has made a difference. Like you may think it doesn't because you're just sleeping at night. It's like, no, because you tend to, let's say B goes to the toilet, we're watching something and she's like, okay, I'm going downstairs to get water or whatever. I sneak in a quick 10-minute scroll to see
you're like, what's happening?
But like just all you need is like that 1 minute and that takes so much out of you, you know, bless you.
Sorry.
That takes so much out of you. Just those few minutes of scrolling, like it takes a lot. Now your body has to now calm down and take all that information, get rid of all that information before you fall asleep again. So now your brain is like still working. It's a lot of those little things. Like, so gradually, like just
another thing,
even also, with scrolling on the phone, like that really does help also.
Yes.
So
to go off of that, like with scrolling, and also why it makes a difference that your phone is not near you. So this is also like why I sleep with my phone on airplane mode. Like I used to be scared to sleep with my phone on airplane mode because, you know, those like calls you get at like 4 a.m. and it's like, it's never anything good. But I've just moved out of slowly, because there'll be some nights where I'm like, I just need to keep it on because I'm worried and like, you know, I want to make sure I'm there for whoever calls me at whatever time. But sleeping with your phone on airplane mode is really important because when we connect it to Wi-Fi, it affects our brain waves, even like Bluetooth, all of that. So there was a time actually when it was like such hectic load shedding and we didn't have Wi-Fi, any of that. And
4
like,
days, no?
Yeah, I remember how amazing we felt. Wow. Shelton was like, I feel so clear, all of this stuff. And that's literally,
off the grid, literally.
We were off the grid. And that's why it's important to have your phone away from you. Like there's radiation, literally. And it affects your brain. It affects your hormones. I don't know. Did you know that?
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's literally why creating that space and that distance is also really important. And even if it's like a couple of hours, like for me this morning, I only looked at my phone at around 9ish and I woke up at about 7. And that, it just opened up so much space, you know, and like even now I haven't really been on my phone that much today. But that break is so necessary, and you feel the difference like in your brain.
100%. But yeah, I think that's that's pretty much, it's such a wide scope of masculine and feminine, and like where it applies and how it applies in life, and like, again, the things we're speaking about now, like detoxing from social media, those are feminine things. Like those fall under feminine, right? Those are risks. Like, and then the masculine is like posting, like making sure that you're creating content, ushering this podcast. This is like, you know, masculine, you know? So it's like, it applies in so many different ways. But I think just getting the basic information down about it is, that's like I always say, I wish they taught us these things in like
Absolutely.
creche, you know, so that we understood from a young age what these things are, because they both are superpowers, like, you know,
and you need them both.
The yin and the yang. It's like literally, it's been spoken about since beginning of time. So it's just understanding those two like superpowers. Literally, they are, when you use them to your advantage, like anything else, whether it's fear or nerves, or like if you use it to your power and know how to like use it, it becomes your superpower. So yeah,
and doing what works for you as well, like
100%.
Yeah, I think in us sharing this, you know, we're just sharing our experience and just how helpful this tool has been, of like understanding that we have two different energy systems going on within our body at all times, and knowing when to turn up the one, turn down the other, and vice versa, you know. So finding what works for you, because we've also had to like figure this out and get to this point, because there was a time where we were obviously very masculine, and then there was a time where we were just like feminine, and we were like, whatever, we want to rest, we want to connect, and that's very important. But we do live in a 3D world, and so finding that balance has been super helpful in like how we operate, you know, and how we like just go about things. So yeah, you guys, we just wanted to share that with you, because it's literally like, it makes up basically our daily conversations.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely made a big difference in our lives as well.
Yeah.
And especially in this world of competition and comparing and social media and you know, chasing this dream, whatever your dream is or whatever our dreams are. It's like, it's really like being the difference maker for us, and we live by it all the time. Like you said, it's a daily conversation. And so yeah, we love you guys, appreciate it. Hope this has helped someone, or and we encourage you guys to go do more research on it. Even if you're not going to apply it now, just go do more research on it. Just become curious about it, because it's such an important thing that we wish we knew from a young age, or that just people talk about more often, or that's like preached alongside how to make money or how to start a business, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like, I think this probably was step 1 or step 2, but like up there with the most important things. So yeah.
Okay, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. We will see you in the next one.
Peace.